You can imagine he's still pretty shaken up this morning. He says the guy walked in with a knife demanding cash. In fact, he jumped on top of that counter. This entire encounter actually caught on surveillance camera right inside of the store. Yeah, you're right about that, deal. You know, it's a very fluid situation. This is the car. They actually just pulled it out of that hole, about to tow it away. Matt Jakes is the owner of that car. He's nice enough to speak with us. Matt, we're on live real quick. I know you're trying to handle some things. Just kind of describe for us. We've all seen those dramatic pictures. This all happened about 6:30, 6:40 this morning. You headed out to work. Just kind of describe what happened. You know, many of Hillary Clinton's supporters thought that she would be making history this morning, becoming the first female president. Obviously, that did not happen. And we're seeing headlines like this across the entire country this morning. Now, many of those supporters are left to wonder this morning what it was that lost her this election. Dia, we understand that officer is recovering this morning. He was rushed to Tampa General Hospital with minor injuries, we understand. Now, the driver who was headed the wrong way, that driver was not injured. However, airbags on both vehicles did deploy. Now, all of this happened right at the intersection right behind me. She tells me that the victim's car actually hit the wall right next to her apartment, and she heard those gunshots moments before all this happened. They were actually being housed at a facility there in Colorado that went out of business. The sanctuary here taking in 5 of those tigers. And let me tell you, when you take a 30-hour trip inside of a trailer, this is what you get. These tigers pretty much relaxing out here this morning. Now, we were there when they unloaded them from that trailer, and let me tell you, it was an amazing sight. This whole thing could have turned out a lot worse. That vehicle just got towed away, but let me tell you, there's still plenty of damage left behind. Pieces of this car all about the parking lot. And let me show you something. That car coming down 49th Street North actually hit 2 palm trees before it came in this parking lot, eventually flipping several times, ending up on all fours. Actually, they have a crew out here this morning cleaning up this mess. They're heartbroken this morning, especially for that 19-year-old still recovering in the hospital here this morning. They tell us she's still in critical condition this morning. Her mother, along with her little brother and sister, all killed in this crash. Following a developing story out of Alabama this morning, where police are searching for the suspects who opened fire at a rally for peace. Now, Birmingham police say that 6 people were shot outside of a public housing community just last night. All of those. This is all a part of an effort to save her job. Now, she's accused of actually going into the school's computer system and actually lying, stating that that student did not have to cross the busy intersection here at Clubhouse Road to get to the bus stop. They just took petty cash, but they wrecked this place, causing about $15,000 worth of damage. Now, the owners tell us they simply do not have the cash to make the repairs. Welcome back. I'm at a loss for words. A truly bizarre story out of Oklahoma today, where a mother and daughter, these two, accused of getting married to each other. And, you know, all of this didn't happen too late. Around 9:15, this young student was walking on campus alone when she says these 2 guys walked up and robbed her. Unfortunately, she wasn't close to one of these emergency beacons to call for help. In fact, at this hour, investigators are in the process of taking her back to West Virginia. The sheriff there in Lewis County, West Virginia, is set to have a press conference a bit later this morning where he will detail more information about this case. Meanwhile, loved ones of this little girl are hopeful that they're a bit closer to getting closure in this case. A former Secret Service officer accused of trying to solicit sex from someone he thought was 14 years old, now facing more serious charges right here in Florida. Really not, Dan. Things all quiet here this morning. As you can see, offices locked up. Folks are pretty disappointed about this. At this point, Hillary Clinton still has not addressed any of her supporters. Her last interaction actually coming in a tweet late last night. Unfortunately, he's still in pretty bad shape this morning. We're told that he's expected to have surgery on some of his injuries a bit later this week. Meanwhile, loved ones of that young woman killed are simply trying to deal with this unbelievable loss. Good morning, Dan. You know, the board of directors sent out this letter to parents explaining exactly what happened. The president of this league pretty much kicked out, accused of stealing from the kids. As you can imagine, parents as well as those players are simply devastated this morning. Well, let me tell you, if you think the pictures are incredible, just to see this thing up close and personal, it's amazing. We're going to have Roger kind of pan over so you can see that hole. Now, all of this was caused early this morning by this water main break. At this point, we don't know how. In just a few hours, a woman will face a judge after Manatee County deputies say she hired a hitman to take out her ex-husband. This morning, we went by the Tarpon Springs Hotel Farrar has listed as an address. He wasn't there. His wife, though, distraught, did answer. The vice president is pretty much trying to stir up passion across the state. He has 2 stops planned for the state of Florida today, one early this morning in Tallahassee, and then later on this evening right here in St. Pete. Now, at an event yesterday in Pennsylvania, he stressed to Hillary Clinton supporters that she understands them and she is the right person. I just did that this morning, as a matter of fact.
Dropped food on the ground and picked it up?
No, but I didn't put it in my mouth, though. It already had the hair on it. You know when it has that one piece of hair? Just saying. It's pretty disgusting.
Hey, it is 6 o'clock on a Saturday. We're glad you're with us. I'm Lindsay Lowe.
And I'm Rodney Dunigan. Action News reporter Jake Peterson live in Newport Richey this morning. And Jake, there are several do's and don'ts that folks definitely need to know. A man accused of fatally shooting his cousin to test a bulletproof vest he was wearing is expected in court later this morning. Police say 23-year-old Joaquin Mendez found the vest at a house in Tampa Saturday night, and he wondered aloud if that vest still worked. Some are wondering if Hillary Clinton will address that controversy regarding her emails once again. This following that announcement last week that the FBI was relaunching that investigation. In fact, Clinton spoke about it to supporters in Ohio just yesterday. And of course, now to the mess surrounding Ryan Lochte. Some pretty tense moments last night on Dancing with the Stars as protesters rushed the stage after Olympic gold medalist Ryan Lochte's first dance. And prisons across Florida are on high alert right now. A nationwide prison strike is planned for today. Now, earlier this week, hundreds of prisoners in the Panhandle. Investigators say this guy is very dangerous, and they're working hard this morning to get him off the streets. They say he walked into this 7-Eleven armed with a knife, demanding money. He even jumped on the counter right in front of the cashier, and the whole thing was caught on surveillance video.
He said he wasn't playing, that he just wants the money, and he started grabbing the money out of the register that I had already open, counting, getting ready the next day.
Carl Crossley, thankful he wasn't hurt. Take a look at this video. It shows the man jumping onto the counter, demanding Crossley give up the cash. Workers admitting seeing this, pretty scary.
You don't expect it to happen to you, but when it does, it's traumatizing.
There have been 3 robberies in the last 2 weeks. The suspect in this case also caught on camera at another local Walmart. All of this just moments before he implied he had a gun and held up the cashier. Customers we spoke with now a bit worried for their safety with this guy on the loose.
Well, this is a great area, and we rarely ever hear about robbery, so I'm kind of shocked. And I hope they find him.
I might have to start going to a different one, maybe. Because going here seems kind of sketchy now.
Take another look at these surveillance pictures. Investigators are hopeful someone out there has information that can lead to an arrest. Something else to make note of this morning, investigators say that suspect may be driving a white Toyota. Reporting this morning from Clearwater, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. We hear she's doing okay. Thankfully, she wasn't hurt in all of this. Now, we spoke with a number of students this morning, and as you can imagine, they're on edge this morning.
I just make sure my phone is charged and look around, make sure I know my surroundings, see where my car is, and kind of just bolt towards it.
Students across the USF campus a bit concerned this morning, and with good reason. Around 9:15 Tuesday night, a young student walking alone near a science building says she was approached by 2 men and robbed.
The alert last night was saying that the robbers took her jewelry.
The description of the suspects a bit vague. 2 white males in their 20s, one with shoulder-length blonde hair, the second with short blonde hair.
Well, I personally stay at the library really late, but I always look around before I come out of the library, or like right when I come out of the library, I always look around and see if there's anything like weird or anything I should be precautious about. And then as I'm walking in my car, I just keep alert.
The university sending out a warning to students. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk or jog alone at night, and stay in well-lit areas. The students we spoke with plan to listen to that advice.
After hearing about this, I usually try to be more precautious about this and take extra measures, try to be more careful.
And campus police hope that students will be careful, not only watching out for themselves, but their classmates as well. For now, reporting live from the campus of the University of South Florida, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Just a little petty cash, in fact, but those vandals caused about $15,000 worth of damage. The owner tells us that they simply do not have the money to make those repairs.
When the police came in, the first thing they said was like, this is somebody just being nasty.
Nasty and destructive. The owners of 444 Radio in Sarasota showed a cell phone video of what the place looked like when they discovered it.
I would have been okay, maybe a little bit better, if they would just stole everything.
The culprits didn't take much but left plenty behind. Microphones, computers, and other equipment needed to broadcast 7 hours of daily talk trashed. The well-known streaming radio station forced to close shop. They can't understand who would do this and why.
Well, mostly anger, honestly. I've been depressed because this is basically what I've always wanted to do. So, and now I'm to the point where I've got to get a part-time job doing, something else.
Jay Martin not alone. They tell us 15 employees now out of work. The station off the air for the foreseeable future.
We were taken aback. The power's off. We've got now the bills are starting to get crazy on us, and we're just trying to keep our heads above water, take it one day at a time, and try to get back as quick as possible.
And the Sarasota Sheriff's Office is investigating this case. At this point, no arrests have been made. For now, reporting live in Sarasota this morning, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. As you can imagine, they're heartbroken this morning, especially for that 19-year-old recovering here at the hospital this morning in critical condition. Her mother, little brother, and sister all killed in this crash.
Like when Lena wakes up and realizes her mom's not here, her brother's not here, her sister's not here.
The thought of 19-year-old Lena Burnell realizing her mom and two siblings no longer alive, too much to bear for her cousin.
She was like a mom to her little brother and sister. She was always so attentive. She made sure that they did their homework. She yelled at them like, a big sister. And she loved them.
Lena, her cousin Louisa, and 54-year-old Carla Wyman, who was in a separate car, remain at Tampa General. 9-year-old John, 10-year-old Maria, and their mom, Marinella, all killed in that wreck.
We're all in shock. We don't know what to do. We're lost. We lost 3 other family members, 2 in critical condition. It's not right.
Both Maria and John went to Mango Elementary, where classmates made cards to remember them, their deaths hitting students and staff hard.
We try to let the students know that they're resilient, and that they're capable of being able to handle difficult things.
The family is in the process of making funeral arrangements, trying to remain strong, not only for Lena, but her father as well.
I don't know how she's going to wake up and just live with that. It's gonna be horrible. And then, we haven't even mentioned the dad. He's in pieces.
And grief counselors will be on hand once again today at Mango Elementary for those students and staff who need it. For now, reporting live outside Tampa General Hospital, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. We're told that deputy had some pretty serious injuries. He's set to have surgery a bit later this week. Meanwhile, loved ones of that woman killed are simply trying to deal with this devastating loss.
It's hard for my mind to think that it actually happened. So I needed time to process.
The 11-year-old son of Jessica Inchategi still trying to cope with her death.
Honestly, I still cry and stuff a lot about it.
Polk County deputies say early Saturday morning, Deputy Adam Pennell stopped to help Jessica, who'd crashed into a tree on State Road 60 near Lake Wells. Investigators say as the two waited in the median, a car crashed right into them and simply kept going. Deputy Pennell seriously hurt, Jessica killed. Her sons say she was a special person.
She was awesome. She was the life of the party. She brought everyone together.
Her family now in the process of planning a funeral, hopeful that driver is caught soon.
Because he needs to pay for what he did to our mother, who was a hard worker and didn't deserve for this to happen.
Investigators don't have many leads to go on this morning. They're looking for a vehicle with front end damage. They're hopeful someone out there with information will come forward. For now, reporting from Lakeland, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. By 6 o'clock this morning, voters were already lined up outside waiting to go inside. Of course, election officials right here in Polk County and across the state of Florida expecting a huge turnout today. By the time the polls opened here at St. John Catholic Church in Lakeland, the line stretching out the door.
I got here around 6:30.
This Polk County location, typically one of the busiest polling sites on Election Day. Today, no different.
I think they're ready to get everybody in and get the process started because they know it's going to be busier throughout the day.
Yeah, that's why we got here early. Try to be
be before the line gets too long, you know.
Polk County has already seen plenty of people cast their ballots. Between mail-in and early voting, more than 170,000 have already voted. Statewide, numbers also hitting records. 6.4 million voting early.
I think it's going to be slammed. I think this is the biggest election that we've had.
Florida will play a major factor in deciding the next president. These voters ensuring their voices are heard.
It was very smooth, very good.
I'm glad to see people showing up to vote.
Hopefully the election will be smooth and we'll move on.
And hopefully things do go smoothly today. Now, there are a few things that you need to be aware of. You know your rights before you go voting. Number one, the polls close today at 7 p.m. As long as you are in line at that time, you will be allowed to vote. And some of these polling locations, they may ask you for a picture ID. Now, if you do not have that ID, simply ask for a provisional ballot. You will be allowed to vote. For any more information about things you need to know before you head out to the polls, you can always head over to our website, abcactionnews.com. For now, reporting live in Lakeland this morning, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Today will be more of the same. Jimmy Buffett actually expected to perform around 5 o'clock tonight. Now, this is one of two visits that the vice president will be making around Florida today. This is all an effort to get out the vote, I guess you can say. And I did speak with a number of voters out here this morning, though, and they tell me they're simply tired of this entire election cycle, and they'll be happy when it's all over. The setup started bright and early here at Albert Whitted Park. Crews gearing up for a big crowd expected for tonight's visit from Vice President Joe Biden and performance by Jimmy Buffett.
It's awesome to see everybody kind of pouring so much attention to this area. The other night, they had the event over at the State Theater. Now they're having the event here, and I just think it's awesome, So I encourage everybody to get out and vote.
For some, the excitement heading into Tuesday's election overwhelming.
I think it's really going to encourage those last few people who are on the fence, maybe, who might be frustrated about this election, to get out and vote.
The feeling not shared by all, though. A number of Florida voters simply have election fatigue.
Actually, I'll be glad when it's all over.
I'm tired. I want to get it over with. I want this to be done.
Biden's visit, part of a series of Get Out the Vote events, hoping to energize Hillary Clinton supporters. Biden and his wife Jill appearing at two events in Florida today. Voters speaking with us simply want a unified country come Wednesday morning.
And I want our country to be strong with whatever candidate is chosen. I want us to unite, and I want us to get on with what we need to get on with and fix what we need to fix.
And the gates here for this event open up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The actual concert kicks off at 5. Now, Hillary Clinton will not be making any stops today in Florida. However, she will be visiting at least 3 other states today. For now, reporting live in St. Pete, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News.